If you are under the age of 18, the content of this video is not intended for you. Please stop watching now. Hey YouTube, it's Audrey and I'm here to participate in this week's version of Two Crafters, One Design, hosted by Melissa, who's Mo Creations, Gloria, who's Girliest Cards, and Lisa, who is UCY I'm a Diva. And I'm also entering this into Satmorn Makes, which is another hashtag that is hosted by Jillian Norwood. For Two Crafters, One Design, each week they have a theme, and this week's theme was bees. And you could see my bee fabric here, although it needs to be ironed, but I had this piece of bee fabric and I decided to use that as my backdrop for today. So they focused on using a set of bees from Jaded Blossom, which I didn't have, but I did have this cute little bee, which is similar to the type that they use for the Jaded Blossom set. And this was from the Spellbinders 2024 Advent calendar, and it was day 6. So that worked out fine. Great that I had something that was similar. Then I used the Spellbinder Stamp and Die Club of the Month. And this is from January 2024. I used this Sentiment Hap Bee birthday and then the coordinating die. I also used a sentiment out of this waffle flower set. I can't even read what it's called with that light yellow, but it's a birthday set that came out a couple releases ago. So I used Another Year, Another Reason to Sprinkle Joy. Then I had this Simply Made craft set that I have never used, and so I'm like, this would be perfect timing to use that. So I used this honeycomb piece, I used that piece, the stirrer or the dripper, and then I used the honey drip die. I also used this hand-torn ovals die. I recently picked this up off of HSN. It came in a set of 2. It also had the circles. And then they also had a rectangle and square, but it's sold out. And I missed that one. But hopefully it'll come back because I would like to have the rectangle version. And last but not least, I used the little pieces you can see here of this Photo Play Welcome Plaid from the Sweetest Honey 2 collection. And then the other side looks like this. But I don't have the collection. Excuse me, but I love this because you know my colors are yellow, black, gold, black. So I just thought that was wonderful because this works for a lot of bee themes. So I created a card, and here is my card. And as you can see, I added the drip to across the top, and then I used that hexagon honeycomb piece as a backdrop. Then I added, I put the bee down and it just wasn't popping enough. So I added black behind there with that torn ovals piece. I put the bee together and he is cute. And I popped the bee up on dimensional, so it's like up 2 millimeters off the page, so that gives it a little more dimension. Then over here I added a little of the drip to the stirrer and kind of have the bee holding that. And then I've also added little diamond dots throughout to add just a little bit of accents. There's the happy birthday. And then I cut that shadow out 3 times so that it has some dimension also. Excuse me, I do have the the stirrer here on dimensionals, because once I put it up here, sorry, I'm not sure what's going on with my voice, but once I put it here, I didn't want it just flat, so I had to even it out because this part is popped up also. Then on the inside, I used a larger size of the torn edge dies, and then there's the sentiment. Another year, another reason to sprinkle joy. On the back, I used yet another of the die cuts made with the torn ovals, and then I put my sign or my stamp. So that is my project for hashtag 2 crafters 1 design theme bees and for Satmore Makes. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a great and a very blessed day. Bye-bye.